team, I hope you're all well. Today we are going to go through a set of 10 books that I would like to read this fall, so my fall TBR. Some of these you will have already spotted on my October TBR, but some of them have not quite made it, so I'm either going to try and read them throughout October despite that, or they will try and make it onto my November TBR. Some of these are middle grades, and obviously Believeathon is coming up in November, which I'm really excited about, so some of them will be able to get on that TBR definitely. But without further ado, let's get into what I have on here. These are in no particular order. So the first one that I have on here is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This did make it onto my October TBR, and I'm really excited about this one. I have heard this compared to the likes of Knives Out, which is a movie that I absolutely love, so I'm really excited. This is following a girl called Avery. She came from nothing. She has a plan: keep her head down, work hard for a better future. Then an eccentric billionaire dies, leaving her almost his entire fortune, and no one, least of all Avery, knows why. They have everything. Now she must move into the mansion she's inherited. It's filled with secrets and codes and the old man's surviving relatives, a family hell-bent on discovering why Avery got their money. Now there's only one rule: winner takes all. Soon she's caught in a deadly game that everyone in this strange family is playing. But just how far will they go to keep their fortune? Sounds really good. If you've read this and haven't watched the Knives Out movie, I would recommend doing that. But if you've read Knives Out, I've heard that this is fantastic, so a recommendation both ways. But yeah, really looking forward to this one. It sounds great and I am here for it, so yeah, very excited about this one. Then we have Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I've heard incredible things about this one, so I'm really looking forward to this. This is following 3 different girls, and we're following Marion, who is a new girl, awkward and plain, weighed down by tragedy and hunger, and hungry for love she's sure she'll never find. Zoe is the pariah, luckless and lonely, hurting but hiding, aching with grief and dreaming of vanished girls. And Val is the queen bee, gorgeous and privileged, a heart made of secrets and a mouthful of lies. Their stories come together on the island of Sawkill Rock, where gleaming horses graze in rolling pastures and cold waves crash against the black cliffs, where kids whisper the legend of an insidious monster at parties and around campfires, where girls have been disappearing for decades, stolen away by the ravenous evil no one has dared to fight until now. It sounds very sinister, and I am here for it. It sounds spooky. I'm not sure what the relevance is to the moths, but I'm no doubt I'll find out. But yeah, heard good things about this one, so I'm looking forward to this one as well. Then I have The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. This is a witchy, sorority-esque type book, and also on my October TBR, so is Sawkill Girls. And this one, only their sisterhood can save them. At first glance, the sisters of ultra-exclusive Kappa Rho Nu, the Ravens, seem like typical sorority girls. Ambitious, beautiful and smart, they're the most powerful girls on Wesley College's Savannah, Georgia campus. But the Ravens aren't just regular sorority girls, they're witches. Scarlet Winter has always known she's a witch, and she's determined to be the sorority's president, just like her mother and sister before her. But if a painful secret from her past ever comes to light, she could lose everything. Vivi Devereaux has no idea she's a witch, and she's never lived in one place long enough to make a friend. So when she gets a coveted bid to pledge the Ravens, she vows to do whatever it takes to be part of the magical sisterhood. The only thing standing in her way is Scarlet, who doesn't think Vivi is Ravens material. But when a wicked power rises on campus, the girls will have to put their rivalry aside to save their fellow sisters. Someone has discovered the Raven's secret, and someone will do anything to get these witches to burn. It sounds so good, and this is the Illumicrate edition, so I'm really excited to read this one. Then we have Blood and Honey by Shelby Bahurin, which is the second in the Serpent and Dove series. I'm bummed that I have not read this one yet, but Gods and Monsters has come out, or is coming out very soon. So I really want to get to this one so that I can finish the trilogy off soon, hopefully. I don't have to wait long for the third one, which is great. In the first one, we followed Lou and Reed. Lou is a witch, Reed is a witch hunter, and they end up in a situation, I'm not going to read the synopsis because I don't want to know what it says. We end up in a situation where Lou and Reed end up in a marriage of convenience. Reed has no idea Lou is a witch, and the story kind of goes from there. It's obviously got fake dating in it, marriage of convenience, enemies to lovers. I just loved the first one so much. I've read it twice and given it 5 stars twice, so I'm really excited about continuing on. I have heard mixed things about this one, but I am still excited to pick it up, so I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series and hopefully getting to the end with Gods and Monsters at some point as well. But yeah, very hyped. This is the Fairy Loot edition. I'm really mad at myself for not ordering the Fairy Loot edition of Gods and Monsters. Don't know what happened. I must have short-circuited that day because I just fucked up massively. So yeah. Then we have I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. This is based on a true story, and this is basically Michelle McNamara's research into a serial killer. Very strange concept, but I'm here for it. I'm very excited. I have heard that Cody has said do not read this at night. I have the audiobook, so my intention is not to read it at night, and it's probably going to be one of those that I'll just read as and when I can. So yeah, this on the back says the masterful true crime account of the Golden State Killer, serial rapist turned murderer who terrorized California for over a decade from the late Michelle McNamara. I'll Be Gone in the Dark offers a unique snapshot of suburban West Coast America in the 1980s and a chilling account of the wreckage left behind by a criminal mastermind. It is also a portrait of one woman's obsession and her unflagging pursuit of the truth, 3 decades later in spite of their personal cost. Updated with material which takes in the extraordinary events that followed its initial publication, Michelle McNamara's first and last book is a contemporary classic, humane, haunting and heroic. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It has got pictures of it in it and stuff, and excerpts of evidence, I assume. So really looking forward to this one. Heard great things, not to be read in the dark because I spook easy. Then we have Popkin Stubs, A Ghost Catcher by Sophie Green. This is the 3rd and so far final book in the Popkin Stubs series. I assume it's the final book overall, but I'm not sure. And I love Popkin Stubs. It's so cute. Basically, Lil Popkin is an investigator. She wants to be an investigator. She wants to work for the local paper, but she lives in a town where there is a local paper which is literally run by the mayor, so only the news that literally goes in this paper is what he decides to put in, and then there is an underground paper that can be delivered to your house in secret and will tell you the actual news of town. She wants to work for that paper. However, one day she's really struggling to try and find a story that will get her noticed by this paper, and one day she's sat in a bus station and she might find her story sitting right across her in the form of Nedley Stubbs. So I really love this story. It's so good. Basically each time we follow them on a little bit of a mission, and it's just really, really cool, and I'm very excited to continue on. Sounds like we've got some ghost catchers in here, so I'm really excited. So yeah, this is on here as well. Then we have Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab. This is also a middle grade, and it's following Cassidy Blake, who can see ghosts. She had, in the first book, she had a little bit of a thing where she went across the veil, and now she can see dead people, and she has a best friend called Jacob, and her parents, ironically enough, are actual like ghost hunters. And they go around the world filming shows and stuff, and Cass ends up going with them, but she tends to go wandering off on her own. So I think the first book was set in Edinburgh, if I remember correctly, and the second book was set in Paris, maybe, I can't remember, but I'm not sure where this one, oh, New Orleans. Okay, so Cass might have this ghost hunting thing down. After all, she and her best friend Jacob have survived 2 haunted cities while travelling for a parents' show, but nothing can prepare Cass for New Orleans, a city bursting with all magic, secret societies and scary seances, and the biggest surprise, an enemy she never expected to face, a messenger of death itself. Is Cass up to the challenge, and what will she have to lose to win? I love this series. It's so good. It's just really spooky. It's such a vibe. The cities that Victoria Schwab picks for these books are just incredible, so I'm very excited. Looking forward to picking this one up. Then we have The Plentiful Darkness by Heather Kastner. This came in an Owl Crate Junior box, and I haven't heard of this one before, but it does sound really, really good. In order to survive on her own, 12-year-old Rooney DeBarra, I just love her name. My last name is Barraclough, and I get called Barra often, and I call my brother Barra, so collects precious moonlight, which she draws from the evening sky with her very rare and most magical lunar mirror. All the while she tries to avoid the rival roughhouse boys and another more terrifying danger, the dark-hearted magician who's been disappearing children into the night. When Trick Aiden, the worst of the roughhouse boys, steals her mirror, Rooney will do what it takes to get it back, even if that means leaping into a pool of darkness after it swallows Trick and her mirror, or braving the plentiful darkness of a bewitching world devoid of sky and stars, or begrudgingly teaming up with Trick to confront the magician and unravel the magic that has trapped Wary Bones' children. This sounds really, really good, and I'm very, very hyped for it. It's not very long at all. I think it's, just over 200 pages. 246 pages, so it's not very long at all. And on the back, there is a quote from Stephen Bachman, who is international best-selling author of Cinder and Sparrows, and it says, "This book gleams with an eerie magic, its characters burning bright and fierce, a visual treat of a tale." So it was the eerie magic thing that got me and sucked me in. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one. Then we have When We Were Magic by Sarah Gailey. I have heard only a few things about this one. I think I got this one from this recommendation from Kayla from Books on Lala. I can't remember if she liked it or not. I don't know. She was doing it for one of her very extravagant videos that I'm just obsessed with. But I am looking forward to this one. It's witchy. It's magic. I am here for it. Keeping your magic a secret is hard. Being in love with your best friend is harder. Alexis has always been able to rely on two things, her best friends and her magical powers they all share. A secret is what brought them together, and their love for one another is unshakable, even when that love is complicated. Complicated by problems like jealousy, insecurity, or lust, or love. That unshakable, complicated love is one of the only things that doesn't change on prom night. When accidental magic goes sideways and boy winds up dead, Alexis and her friends come together to try to right the terrible wrong. Their first attempt fails, and their second attempt fails even harder. Left with the remains of their failed spells and more consequences than anyone could have predicted, each of them must find a way to live with their part of the story. It sounds really, really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I am hyped indeed. And then last but not least, we have Vicious Spirits by Cacho. I really want to try and get some duologies finished off and boxed off before the end of the year, and this is one of them. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I did enjoy the first one, which was Wicked Fox. Yes, Wicked Fox, which came in a fairy loot box. So I'm looking forward to continuing on with this one. I think this follows a side character from the first one, so it's not a direct... follow-on, following the same characters, but I think it follows a side character from the first one. 18-year-old Lee Somin's heart is breaking. Her friends are grieving. Ji-hoon, the loss of his beloved grandmother, and Mi-young, the loss of her mother and her foxbead, her immortal Gumiho soul. So in the first one it was Mi-young who lost her foxbead that we were following. Somin, who is no stranger to loss, wants to help them pick up the pieces and move on with their lives, but neither seem to want her help. As Ji-hoon and Mi-young become distant, Somin finds unexpected comfort in Yunu, everyone's not-so-favourite Dokhebi, I think. Somin thought she knew who Yunu was, an arrogant, self-serving conman. But the more she gets to know him, the more she finds Yunu is sensitive, kind-hearted and giving. Most startling of all, he could also be exactly what she needs. For his part, Somin takes Yunu's breath away. He wonders if she could ever love him and if he could deserve it. But before Somin and Yunu can discover what's truly between them, the group of friends discover the supernatural world isn't quite done with them. Somin is seeing ghosts on the streets of Seoul, and Yunu is visited by a reaper from his past. Turns out, Mi-young's lost foxbead has caused a tear between the world and the living, and the world of the dead. The only way to repair the rift is to find Mi-young's bead, or for Mi-young to pay with her life. An electrifying, heart-stopping read, Vicious Spirits returns readers to the indelible world of Wicked Fox, where romance and danger abound. I'm so looking forward to this one. Also, this cover is stunning. So yeah, really looking forward to this one as well, and I am hyped for all 10 of these books. Very, very excited. So yeah, at least 3 of them are on my October TBR. We will see how many more I can get through of those before November, because obviously I've left this quite late. I probably should have done this in September, but this will run into November as well, and obviously 3 of those are middle grades, so I'm hoping to read those for for Believathon. But yeah, I am hyped about all of those books. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these and if I should make any of them a priority over others. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.